Oh man, look at that. That is pretty. All that movement down there. You can see all this structure and cover down here on the 360. What's up, guys? This is Ryan Johnson with MoneyBass.com. Back once again, and today what we are going to do is take a look at one of the questions that I received from one of my subscribers. Basically, they sent me a message on Instagram. But before we get into that, let me just go ahead and give a quick shout out to some of the guys that have still been participating in the comment section. And hopefully some more of you guys will hop in here, join in, and put your opinions, questions, things like that down in the comment section. But basically just want to give a quick shout out to C219 Troll, Deshaun Peck, Byron Jeffries, Chauncey Davis, 362nd Campbell, Davis Madden out there at Clarks Hill. I think C219 Troll is out at the Clarks Hill area also. Then we also have, let me see, Davis Madden, Joshua B. Fishing, Joey TR21X. I know he was out there at Clarks Hill just recently also. 28 West Outdoors, and Jonathan Brown Fishing. All right, guys, really appreciate you guys continuing to support the channel. And please remember, hit the like button and share these videos so that we can continue to grow and continue to build this network so we can continue getting useful information that will help us all out in the long run. So let's go ahead and take a look at the question from the subscriber. Oh, one other thing real quick. I will be out on the lake tomorrow. And as most of you know, we now have Mega Live. Humminbird Mega Live is out. So I will be out just doing some, doing some fishing and just continuing to work on that system and seeing what I can learn. If you guys have any questions or anything that you would like me to find out while I'm out there, please put that down in the description, and I'll make sure I take a few minutes out to go ahead and, test out whatever you guys may come up with as far as things that you want to know about the Mega Live, and I will add that into the video whenever I upload that. All right, so the question that we have that came from a subscriber is, when I'm looking at one of the spots I have marked and I'm going to fish it, if I graph over it and see one or two fish around the brush pile, should I stop and cast at it or move on? So that's the first part of the question. Do you generally try to find large schools of bass or just a couple? All right, so the first part of the question, basically, if you graph over something and you notice one or two fish on the brush pile. So for me, what I generally do, and I guess things have kind of changed now with not only 360, but now Mega Live comes into play. So with me, if I pull up to a brush pile, let's say if it's a shallow brush pile, for instance, to me, I may be thinking that could possibly be largemouth down there. So largemouth, of course, are tournament winners. So if there's only one or two on there, hey, maybe those may be the fish that you need to go ahead and fill out that limit with a kicker fish or something like that. So I would definitely pull up on that brush pile. And I'm assuming it's something that has already been scanned and you already know where that brush pile is at. So you already have your waypoint set up as he stated in the question. So what you do from there is pull up, use your 360 and also the Mega Live now to line up that cast. And with the Mega Live, you can now angle it and take a look at that brush pile to see if you notice any fish on there or any movement. And as he said, there's one or two fish on there. So what I'm going to do is use something like maybe a jig. It's now fall. The water temps, I would say, are probably going to be in the low 60s. And let's just say that it is a day that is sunny. It may be cloudy a little bit, but let's say mainly a sunny day, a little bit of clouds. And we know that the temperatures are dropping in fall. So with that information, I would probably take maybe a small jig or a shaky head, something that I can pitch out to that brush pile, and I can see that on the Mega Live system come down and fish that through that brush pile. So that's one option that I would try. More than likely, that would be the thing that I would do right off the bat. If that fish is aggressive or active and ready to eat, it may go ahead and hit that bait right off. So I would try that. I may try, since again we're talking shallow, I may try a shallow running crankbait, which again you will be able to see on that Mega Live system. So I would throw something like a square bill, maybe a DT6 or something like that I can watch go down, just barely tap the top of that brush pile and come back up. So that would be how I would handle it if it was a shallow brush pile. So yes, the answer is I would stop and fish it, but I would not spend that much time on that brush pile because we know there's only 1 or 2 fish. If they're biting, they'll go ahead and hit, and you can take one or two of those fish off of that brush pile and move on to the next one. Now, if it is a brush pile that is in deeper water, generally I would probably go ahead and pass that brush pile up. But now with Mega Live again, I know that not only can I see the brush pile on my 360, I will be able to scan that brush pile very quickly with Mega Live, see if there's any movement in there, make 1 or 2 casts, and because now you have the ability to be more precise with your cast, you can make 1 or 2 casts, see how the fish reacts to your bait. If it doesn't bite, pack up and I'd move on. So that is how I would approach that in shallow water and if it was deep water. So with the shallow water one, actually with both of them, I would still fish both of those brush piles. And I would not spend too much time on them with only 1 or 2 fish on there because we're looking for the aggressive fish and have to pack up and keep moving. You don't want to waste too much time, especially in a tournament situation. So the second part of the question is, do you generally try to find a large school or a bass or just a couple? So generally, if I'm looking to fill out a limit and trying to get my 5 fish, I would love to find a large school of fish. So if I have that opportunity and I've already marked some places where I have large schools of fish there, I'll probably go and hit those spots first so that I can at least get my confidence up, get a few fish in the live well, and that way I can kind of relax and fish a little bit, knowing that it's not that much pressure on me. But the other thing to keep in mind for me, from my perspective, is whenever you see those schools of fish, if you're catching 1 or 2 out of there, they're generally going to be around the same size. And from my experience, I would say those fish may be anywhere from 1.5 pounds to maybe 2.5 pounds in general. Sometimes you can get on those bigger schools, the bigger schools with bigger fish, but from my experience, those are generally the range or the size of the fish whenever I've been finding schools of fish. And the other thing to keep in mind is this lake that he is referring to, it has largemouth in there, and it also has spotted bass. So with the shallow water, I'm going to be targeting the largemouth. Once I move out to the deeper water, I'm going to target spotted bass. With schools, generally, I'm targeting spotted bass depending on the lake. This lake he's referring to, again, is a spotted bass lake, so I'm going to target spotted bass whenever I go out to the deeper water. That's pretty much how I would approach that. The baits that I would use, like I said, on the shallow water, I already said that I would use maybe like a shaky head, a jig, a shallow running crankbait. Once I go out to the deeper water, of course, I would still use maybe a shaky head, something that I could see once I flip it out to that brush pile, depending on how deep it is. Of course, my Spybait, I will leave a link in the description to my Spybait setup. I've been getting real good results with that, so I would say please take a look at that. I'm pretty sure to help you guys out. So we have a shaky head, we have Spybait. I would also take a look at the fish head spin, and as always, a jerk bait. Those are some good things to use, especially with live imaging. All right, so you guys, please leave your comments. How would you fish that situation and answer that question for that subscriber? Those are my ideas, my tips, my opinion on how I would approach that. Hope that helps you out. If you have any questions or anything like that, please hit me up on my Instagram. I will put the link right here on the screen. And maybe we can get to that question next week. I'll probably do this again next week on Wednesday, probably. So just leave your questions or whatever, and also your answer to the question down in the description. All right, guys, I really appreciate you continuing to support the channel. I will see you guys on the next video. Yes. There we go, buddy. There we go. Saw that one. Cast right over to it. Whew.